Hello, good morning or good afternoon. It's good afternoon, I think. I've had a very lazy start to the day. Welcome to Right Nice Places. I'm Dan, as you should know by now, and today our plans have been scuppered by traditional Welsh wet weather. So we were going to go and visit a place called Dinas, Emrys, next to Llyn Dinas, which is a big lake and an old fortress that's steeped in sort of Welsh mythology, Arthurian legend and cool ass stories about dragons. But sadly the weather's proper grim and we weren't going to do that. But what we have done is just had a brew, and if you recognise where I am, so yeah, if you recognise where I am, I'm currently at the bottom of Wither or Snowdon, and we are starting to walk up a path known as the Watkin Path. Now the Watkin Path is the true long way up Snowdon or Wither. It's arguably the most beautiful path, and it is the most difficult path other than Cribgoch. And the reason it's the most difficult is the Watkin Path entails all 1,085 metres of Wither, whereas every other route takes a bit of a shortcut. The other reason that this route is difficult is the final part of it is across a scree slope, which, if you are not good with heights, can be a little bit, you know, khaki a trouse time, so squeaky bum time there. However, the Watkin Path is very, very pretty. We're not going to go all the way today, but we are going to go a little bit of the way up just because we need some fresh air. It's pretty. So it is a very wet day for doing Watkin Path. If you are going to come out in these sort of conditions, then bring the proper gear, guys. And by proper gear I don't mean go out and spend an absolute bloody fortune on gear. You don't have to do that, but you would be an absolute lemon if you come out in this weather without some form of waterproof, without proper footwear. And by proper footwear, get some waterproof boots. If you can't afford fully Gore-Tex boots, then buy yourself some spray, some waterproof spray that you can bang on your boots, or even get some waterproof socks, whatever the case may be. But you don't want to be traipsing up a mountain in this weather and just being miserable, you know. So make sure you get yourself a good waterproof jacket, and make sure you're getting waterproof, not water repellent and stuff like that. Get yourself to go outdoors, they'll kick you out. And obviously the more you do it, the more you'll upgrade your kit. But today, Gore-Tex Pro for me, Gore-Tex trousers. Underneath my Gore-Tex trousers I've got my winter hiking trousers, so they're like technical trousers but slightly thicker, and they have like a Gore-Tex line through them as well. It's almost double waterproofed on the bottom half. Waterproof hat, and everything in my rucksack today is in dry sacks as well, just to keep yourself fully waterproof, because the last thing you want when out in this sort of weather is getting your extra layers out and being piss wet through in the back of your rucksack. So yeah, Gore-Tex up, guys, or drill light up, or whatever material you're using, make sure it's waterproof. Anyway, shut up rambling about clothing and carry on taking you on this path. And the Watkin Path is not a difficult path to follow. It's very pretty. You can see there, path in front of me now, Nauko's walking up, nice and easy. And you can see Nauko, you may have noticed she's not wearing a rucksack today, and that's because we're not planning on going all the way up to the summit of Wither, because, you know, I'm a bit of a fair weather walker, you know. I want to see beautiful views. I don't want to be clinging onto the side of a rock for dear life while I'm battered by the wind. And there's no need to do that. We live here. We can have a nice stroll up. I needed to get a video in, and more than anything, if you watch my last video, you know I went to a 4-day family court this week, and fuck, battling a biased system, my friends, is no fucking fun. So today I needed to get out, have some fresh air, and just appreciate the good things in life, you know. So yeah, I'm videoing, just as Nauko said, the colours up here today, sort of, it really is very, very much autumn at the minute in Naruri. And this path, honestly, unless, you know, if you're not trying to get to the summit and you just want a nice walk in a river, then this is the one for you, you know. It's such a nice, easy path. If you're going to park at the bottom of the Watkins, you need to get here pretty early or come on a day like today. If it's a nice day, it's the weekend or a school holiday or something like that, parking at the bottom of the Watkins path can be a nightmare. But on a day when it's peeing down, no bugger wants to come, so it's nice and easy, you know. So we've parked up and it's late in the afternoon. And like I said, we've only come for a mooch, but let me just show you some of the views you're getting. In the distance there, you can see Llyn, which is where there's a nice big campsite. And just over there, you can see the start of Moel Shabod as well. Really beautiful walk, this. Dead easy, but what it is also is Britain's oldest public footpath. So that's quite cool, isn't it? Yeah, if you want to walk on Britain's oldest public footpath, then you need to come to the Watkins. It was opened by Prime Minister Gladstone, and we're going to go past a rock very shortly called Gladstone's Rock, obviously named after the bugger. And that was quite effortless, wasn't it? I just walked through a gate that had been opened for me. That was quite cool, thank you. So yes, we're walking up the Watkins path, and like I said, it's not a big video today, guys. Thank you though for everybody who's liking, sharing and subscribing to the channel. We've just got to 400 subs, so that's awesome, isn't it? I'm really pleased that 400 people want to watch me ramble on up the sides of mountains and talk about, you know, fathers' sort of rights and justice and all that sort of stuff. So it's been really good. But, you know, sadly this week in family court I became another statistic, part of the 100 or 200 men a day that lose in family court. Not lose, because now it goes to CAFCAST and they'll come up with some sort of plan for me to have access and who the children should live with. But what a farcical system, let me tell you. Evidence is dismissed in family court and it goes off feelings rather than logic. And more importantly, it doesn't go on equality and what's best for the children. It very much goes what the woman wants, regardless of what the system and judges will tell you. That's why less than 10% of men end up with custody of the children, because it is not a fair system. If it was, that figure would be 50-50, wouldn't it? Anyway, I'm not going to get into that today. I'm trying to get it out of my mind, trying to move forward and plan for our next court dates in February. But the person that suffers for all of this is my kids, nobody else. I mean, I suffer, but I'm a big lad, I can deal with it. Kids shouldn't be asked to deal with that, should they? Parents don't like each other anymore, that's fair enough. Don't make kids suffer. Got a video here for a second. You can probably just see them waterfalls behind me and the river absolutely raging in this weather. And if I turn the camera around just briefly, again you can see Nant Gwynant and them beautiful valleys leading around up the pass and towards Parental. But this is what the Watkins is famous for, is its waterfalls, its infinity pools, its absolute splendour, and its Instagram worthy moments, if you will. Again, not on a day like today, but if you take the Watkins path on a summer's day, then you'll probably find lots of people hanging around the Insta worthy infinity pools, you know. A lot of people take this path simply for a nice walk. There's no technicality, again, until you get near to the top, and even that's not technical, it's just a bit loose and scary. But a lot of people will take this just as a nice walk, and in summer they'll come up for a swim and a dip, and why not, you know. I mean, I wouldn't recommend a swim and a dip today, because you'd be whizzing straight off this mountain into the Llyn at the bottom and washed out to sea, because it is rough and crazy today. But yeah, you can see the path behind me and it's absolutely stunning, and it's not hard. You can see how easy this is. So strongly recommend the Watkins, even if you just want a nice family day out, guys. Let me tell you, it is wetter than a duck's bum out here today. So if you are coming up on a day like this, me and Alco was just saying, you don't need waterproof boots in case you walk through a river. Sadly, the path becomes a bit of a stream, so you're constantly in like a couple of inches of water. So totally worth not coming in trainers, guys. I know people always, oh, I can walk anywhere in trainers. You can, but you're just going to be cold and uncomfortable, and what's the point in that? Look at these now, some old miners' houses that we're walking past back in the days, and we've talked about it on previous videos, when Earthwither was a giant copper mine, an ore mine. And you know, for me, I know you all think I'm mad, but you shouldn't be digging into any mountain that's got a giant buried underneath it, you know? It's silly, isn't it? Myths and legends come from somewhere. Which is a bit why I'm gutted that we didn't get to do Dinas Emrys today, but I didn't fancy climbing up a load of wet rocks, you know. So yeah, coming to the waterfalls closer and closer now. You can see them behind me. And this is what makes the Watkin Path, look at that. This is what makes the Watkin Path so very, very popular. Especially in summer, because you have people swimming, dipping, posing, and just having general good fun. But if I turn this camera around and show you why you wouldn't want to get in there today, I mean, look at that infinity pool today, and yeah, you wouldn't want to have a dip, would you? And I'll show you the path now that we're going to walk across. So yeah, on a wet day like today, be very careful, guys, because this is where we're going to cut across, you know, and this is a little bit slippy, and you wouldn't want to go in there today now, would you? So yeah, whatever you do when you're on this path, make sure that you're being sensible. So, as you can see today, a little bit treacherous, but this is exactly why the Watkins is a popular route. I mean, look at these rivers at the side of here. And obviously, on a day like today, I think it genuinely rained every day for the last 2 weeks in Emrys. Certainly rained on Emrys every day for the last 2 weeks. And this is the result, you know. So yeah, it's a little bit more treacherous. You have to be careful, but you are rewarded with excellent views. But I'm going to show you this path here now, and you can see what I mean about you need waterproofs. This is just the grass. This isn't, you know, you can see the path there, how wet, how dangerous and how full of water everything becomes, which is for me why I've always loved full-on leather hiking boots. I'm wearing Zambalans, as you know. And I use Granger's wax on them, as well as Kiwi polish to keep them waterproof. But for me, on a day like today, canvas, I know, you know, I'm a big fan of Merrells and stuff, but a canvas shoe isn't going to keep you dry. Whereas a good solid leather boot for me on a day like today, absolutely gone one, you know. And I'm hoping you can hear me over the power of the water behind me, because it is quite incredible. And I'm going to show you now just where we're coming around this path. And look at this, absolutely splendid views all the way up this path, just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And if you're watching this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, but please, if you're looking for a video to take you to the top of Emrys today, this isn't going to be it. It's too treacherous to get to the summit, and we're not kitted up for it today. Well, I am, but I'm not in the mood. I just wanted a nice easy walk. I'm going to take us as far as Glasstoe Rock, which I'll show you when we get there. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy these absolutely splendid views, and in front of me as well. Now, depending on your pace, it's not hard, this walk at all, but it is by far the most interesting way up Emrys. You know, you've got quarry history, stunning pools, stunning waterfalls, stunning landscapes, and as I've already mentioned, you're doing the oldest public footpath in Britain, which is very cool within itself, you know. And also a much quieter side of the mountain. The Watkin Path gets busy, but nothing like Emrys, the Pig or the Miners track. So a nice quiet way up. As I said, for me today personally, fucking just needed some fresh air, man, you know. 4 days in family court. What a bullshit system that is. So if you are a man like me and you are struggling, and let me tell you, I have been struggling, then I strongly recommend speaking to Andy's Man's Club, to Calm, or People Against Parental Alienation are all great causes. And the links to all of those websites are in the description to this video. Or if you're just lost, want to walk and want to talk, then reach out, because I truly know what it's like to to feel abandoned by all systems and feel the injustice, knowing that a woman would keep her children away from a husband or a loving father for no other reason than spite and malice, and using kids as a weapon and alienating them should be bloody punishable and not just rewarded with financial incentives in the way in which it is. Anyway, I could ramble about that all day, but if I'm honest, I've been crying for the last 48 hours over it, so I don't want to bring myself to tears anymore. So instead, let's enjoy these bloody good views, shall we? Well, ladies and gents, you can see the old quarry buildings behind me. Glasstoe Rock is just around the corner there. But this is as far as me and Nauka are going to go on the Watkin Path today. As I said, we didn't come out today to come up with and certainly not the Watkin Path. We had come out to do an entirely different video at Dinas Emrys, which I will definitely show you very soon because it is a truly remarkable place. But unfortunately, the weather there was even worse than it is here. Simply couldn't get out. So we wanted to walk and we've come up here, but I cannot stress enough, and I'm looking at my feet as I'm talking to you because this whole mountainside is like a river. I cannot stress enough that if you're going to come and do or attempt to do it in these sort of conditions, then be equipped. We want to come on a short walk today. I've got my first aid kit in my bag. I've got emergency layers. I've even got the jet boil in case we got stuck out here and we needed a hot meal and a hot drink. You know, please do not underestimate British weather or Welsh weather in the hills because it can be treacherous. I never ever ever feel bad about admitting to yourself that it's too much and turning around, because the mountain will always be there. So you can always come back, try and redo it. Yeah, but we're not going to the top. That wasn't the plan today. I wanted to get out and touch base with you all guys more than anything. I had such lovely messages of support about the family court systems that I was going through. I'm now going to have to, because of a 20-week delay in the family court systems, because quite clearly it is oversubscribed in this country because, you know, it's a money-making scam. There is a lot of people making money off fathers desperate to see the children, whether it be solicitors, whether it even be the court systems themselves. For instance, an example of that, if you just want court papers, if you want to know what the judge has said and you want a copy of that, it'll cost you 375 quid. Surely that should be given to you when you've already paid for attendance in court. So that's why I wanted to get out today. A bit of fresh air, because as I am always an advocate of, nothing, and I mean this, nothing is better for your mental health than mud on your boots, pain in your thighs and fresh air in your lungs. Is so good for you. So we're going to make our way down the hill now. I'll show you the views that we've taken. You can see again just how stunning this river is going down the mountain. You can see now going front there, and we're going to make our way down. So yeah, not a long video by any stretch of the imagination today, but one other thing I wanted to mention on my videos today, and I don't give a hoot what your political views are or where you sit in the world, but I wanted to say rest in peace to Mr. Charlie Kirk, a man I very much enjoyed watching, and this is the first video that I've made since the political assassination of the poor bugger, you know, and I don't give a shit what side of the spectrum you're on, if you're a far right lunatic, a far left lunatic, a centralist, whatever. Murdering a man for nothing more than debating on a university campus in front of his wife and children is disgusting. And anybody, and I mean anybody, who celebrated it, cheered for it, liked the post about it, or said he deserved it, a scum. And that is what is wrong with this world today. Exactly why I'm dealing with the sort of stuff I am in family court, because people have lost the ability to sit down and talk like grown-ups. And that's just a scary place, because when communication breaks down, guys, it's not a good place for society, is it? So yeah, God bless Charlie Kirk and his family at this moment. You know, I'm really sorry to hear about all of that. Absolutely gutted. So again, talking about the waterfalls on the way down. Look at this beauty, absolutely stunning. But again, I cannot stress enough how careful you have to be up here on a day like today. Otherwise you're getting washed down there, and that would be proper rubbish, wouldn't it? But what a right nice waterfall then. Well guys, that's the end of this ridiculously short video today. As I said, we weren't looking, we didn't really know what to do with ourselves today because it has been wetter than a duck's bum. So we thought we'd take you up the Watkin Path a little bit. I hope you've enjoyed that little bit, and I promise you, when the weather's drier, nicer and there's views to offer, then I'll take you all the way up that route, because it is probably the most picturesque and beautiful way of doing weather. Yeah, definitely. But as always, thank you for joining me. Oh, and as of oeth nos nesa, so from next week, we will be, so bydda i'n ddysgu Cymraeg mwy, so we will be learning some Welsh more as of next week, because me and Nawco, we're going to be attending Welsh lessons again together. So not again together, for the first time together. I've done them before, but we're now going to be attending Welsh lessons together, so we can siarad Cymraeg, you know, Bob Deve, so we can speak Welsh every day to you. So we're going to be learning more of that next week. But as always, thank you for joining, thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you all right soon. Bye for now.